Andy and Mercedes from Crankshaft Culture. So we are out here in the beautiful Alabama hills outside of Lone Pine, California. As you can see, it is truly stunning. And we've got a really cool camp spot. And instead of bringing our Cherokee, this time we brought our 1989 Mitsubishi Delica, which is a Japanese van. It's right-hand drive. It has a 2.5-liter turbocharged diesel engine. It's a manual transmission and has low range, so it's pretty decent off-road for what it is. But we thought we'd just give you a walkthrough about the van and sort of how we go out. We've been out for about 5 or 6 days. Started in Portland, Oregon, and then we have meandered our way south, and we spent the last few days in Death Valley and camping up here. So anyway, let's show you here how we kind of camp in our van. Okay, so this is it. This is what we call the space tractor because frankly, I mean, look at it. It looks like it should be like from the future or like an 80s sci-fi movie colonizing another planet. And frankly, out in these parts, it sort of does look like that. So you can see it's a real distinctive bull bar up front here where we have the massive yellow fog lights. They work pretty darn well too. So up top, we have a Yakuba round bar system with the fairing up front. We have our ARB 2500 aluminum awning. That's kind of dirty because we've been out. And then we have them attached using Bomber Products on locks, which are extremely durable. They're probably hard to see just because of the lighting, but they're extremely durable and they hold this sucker on really, really well. So right-hand drive, so all the things that would generally be on a left-hand drive vehicle are going to be switched around, including the sliding door. So the sliding door here is on the left-hand side. I guess that's unlike some vehicles. And we've kind of done a quick and dirty camper van setup with ours. We haven't done a full-on camper van setup where we've pulled out all the interior and built-in cabinets and sinks and all that. So, but what we did do is we removed the back seat. This was a 7-passenger van. And we kept the center seat. As you can see back here, where there is no rear seat, and we have a piece of plywood that we have cut. This is going to be birch that we hinged in the center here. You can kind of see this in here. That's actually a hinge, kind of dark. But anyway, we've hinged that in the center, so then we can flip this up if we need to get access underneath it. We have our sleeping platform here. Again, here's the actual seat. And then we have plywood. We actually put this down just to protect the upholstery in case we ever wanted to save it. And then we have a comforter for added protection, or added, well, comfort, if you will. And then we have a Big Agnes double sleeping bag. We've got some pillows in here. This is a 15-degree bag. And then in the Big Agnes bag goes 2 thermarest. We have this is kind of a funny thing. This is a gear cage that was actually from the back of a Suzuki SX4 that works really well here. It's a good place to put up some clothing for the next day. We store a bunch of stuff too. We've got some over here, the camo bag. That's a dry goods bin, so we've got snacks and all that stuff. Cold weather supplies here. But so underneath here, we actually store stuff. So you can see we've got our worn first aid kit. We've got a backpack here. But behind this backpack, I'm not going to pull it all the way out, is yet another backpack. And then behind there we have some water storage. They're just in tanks, water bricks, so they're not permanent. Let's take a quick peek on the inside. So on the inside, it's kind of a mess right now, but passenger seat, you've got your driver's seat over there, and you can see transfer case here. You've got your manual transmission. Up top here, we've got an inclinometer, and that's going to have incline and then actually an altimeter of all things, believe it or not. So it's a little dark. Let me turn this light on for you. So glove box, you've got a road flare that came with the vehicle, kind of interesting. So we keep a couple of our Hydro Flask growlers here and keep these with water, which is good just for on the go. So no fancy power windows. Oddly enough, this vehicle has power locks only on the sliding door and the back door, which is kind of interesting. Speaking of the back, let's go take a look at the back here. So here's our camp box that we'd like to sticker up with our favorite brands and some of the places we've been. And that actually will nest back here. And that slides partially underneath the sleeping platform. This stuff kind of gets stacked on top of it. So we've got an air compressor. This is just some trash. We've got some boots. We've got our ARB 47 quart fridge, which is our absolute lifeline. Love it. Never go back to a cooler. These things are fantastic. I cannot recommend these enough. Best money spent ever. So we've got that hardwired in. But so all this stuff, including our camp box, nests nicely in the back of our van. Plus which the van, we did replace these struts. Big shout out to liftstrutdepot.com. I'm not paid for this. They didn't give me the product, but they had Delica struts and it lifts this sucker up nice and tall. You can see we've got a little bit bigger tires than the stock tires. The stock tires are a 215 SR15. So roughly that translates to a 215/80/15. They had snow tires and they were kind of bald. So we replaced them with our favorite tire brand, which is going to be Yokohama. These are Yokohama Geolander ATG015s. We really put them through their paces this trip, and they have been fantastic. These are mounted on some 15x7 American Racing AR23 wheels as well. So let's go ahead and open up the side here, or the driver's side, I should say, considering this is a right-hand drive vehicle. You kind of got to step up. There's a little bit of a balancing act where you got to learn how to get into one of these. You can't just jump in. I've hit my knee so many times on this, and it's super painful. So if you look in here, we've got our switch panel here. This is going to be your door lock and unlock for the slider and the rear. We've got defrost. You've got your rear fan speed. And this is to turn on the giant yellow fog lights. No airbags. But we say still safer than a motorcycle, maybe. And but hey, you only live once, right? So front here, we've got tachometer, we've got speedometer in kilometers only, including the odometer, fuel on the left, temp gauge on the right. The other two switches over here are going to be wiper washer for the rear and hazards. So these are actually going to be your signals, and over there, that's actually your windshield wipers, which is opposite of the way most left-hand drive vehicles are. Don't you love this houndstooth interior, by the way? I wish I could show you this in the light, but there's actually like glittery thread woven into this. It's really quite amazing. I kind of love it. So to start this thing, it's got glow plugs. So basically, you want to make sure that it's in first. It's in either you got the clutch in. This does not have a lockout on the clutch, which is amazing. So I can actually start it from standing over here. So basically, what I'll do is I'll turn this to the start mode, not ignition, but just start, and you'll hear it click once, and then you'll hear it click again. That means we can turn it on. So watch. Click. Click. Here we go. And the Mitsubishi 4D 5.6 roars to life. This is like 85 horsepower. It's like 85 horsepower and 150, 147 foot-pounds of torque, something like that. It is not fast. It's the opposite of fast. It's slow, actually. I'll just shut that off. I don't need to run that. So, but it does well. We get about 20 miles a gallon, 17 to 20 miles a gallon. So I can't complain about that, especially for something with the aerodynamics of a shipping container. When you need to add brake fluid or clutch fluid, it's right here, actually. Just pull that off and you put your .3 right in there. So one thing I'd like to show you is the engine bay, but it's getting a little dark and I've got a lot of stuff everywhere. But basically, there's a latch here, right under there, and there's another latch on the other side. I'll walk you around here. The engine for this is actually under here. So we're gonna head north back to Portland here pretty soon, and Delica's done great. We did some incredible stuff today off-road that I didn't expect it to do. It does have torsion bar front suspension, so there's no real lift. You can crank up the torsion bars a bit, which we've done. And then it's got rear leafs in the back, solid rear axle, independent front suspension. It does kind of live life on three wheels if it's off-road, but we're not usually doing a whole lot of things that are real difficult off-road with this. I mean, we don't want to roll our house. I mean, it is kind of our house. Oh, I just thought of something cool. Check this out. So when I close this, by the way, our license plate, these bolts, they're actually in a different location on the Japanese plates, so we had to make an adapter. Anyway, what's really cool, this is a mirror. Ready? I'm going to see if I can show you this. Ooh, that's a mirror. Anyway, people ask me all the time, what is that for? What is that for? Well, when I'm in the driver's seat, I can look at the rearview mirror, and then I can look in the rearview mirror into that, and that shows me this view. So I can park it really easily. And guess what? There's another one on the front. So it's actually super duper fancy. It's like early parking, it's like 1980s parking sensor technology. So this round mirror here, if I look at that mirror, I can see the front of the vehicle. Actually, the front of the vehicle. So this is a really easy vehicle to park. We're starting to get looks like gonna get a beautiful sunset tonight. You probably can't see the pinks and whatnot, but looking forward to it. And thanks for watching. And maybe we'll see you on the road. Bye.